between now and then, past or future. So we learn these very important discriminations that are fundamental to the perspective taking. I versus you, here versus there, now versus then. And the technical name for this stuff is deictic framing. Deictic framing. And basically we learn this because we get asked all sorts of questions as we grow up. What are you doing here? What were you doing there? What am I doing here? What was I doing there? What were you doing then? What are you doing now? What was I doing then? What am I doing now? We don't get asked these questions in this exact format. It's like, so, what did we do at the zoo yesterday? What's your brother having for breakfast? What are you having for breakfast? Where is Dad? Oh, look, there's Mum. Again and again and again, in hundreds and then thousands and then tens of thousands of different ways, we get asked about or taught about here versus there, I versus you, he, she, it, now versus then. So we get asked many, many questions. What are we going to do tomorrow? What did you do yesterday? Who were you playing with this afternoon? From many such questions and comments, we really learn to distinguish I versus you, here versus there, and now versus then, which are the fundamentals of perspective taking, known as deictic framing. And so basically these perspective taking skills, I versus you, here versus there, now versus then, give rise to what we might call a locus of consciousness. Everything gets noticed from a perspective of I, here and now. And the technical name for this is self as context. So basically, contacting the present moment means that I, here, now, notice what I see, hear, touch, taste, smell, think, feel, and do. Self as process is a textbook term to cover another aspect of the ACT model. I, here, now, notice that I see, hear, touch, taste, smell, think, feel, and do. The transcendent self, or the observing self, I, here, now, notice that I am continuous, unchanging, distinct from, and more than what I see, hear, touch, taste, smell, think, feel, and do. Diffusion, I, here, now, notice my thoughts and see them as words and pictures. Acceptance, I, here, now, notice my thoughts and feelings and allow them to be as they are. Values, I, here, now, notice what is important and meaningful to me and put it into words. Committed action, I, here, now, notice my actions and take control of them. Empathy, I, here, now, notice what someone else is feeling and feel it too. Compassion, I, here, now, notice suffering and respond with kindness. And what all of these responses have in common is this perspective of I, here, now. I, here, now, noticing everything else. And so this is another way of looking at self as context, this looking at everything from the perspective of I, here, now. Now, for an analogy, consider water. If you want to make tea, it's water plus tea leaves. Milk is water plus various fats, proteins, and sugars. Coffee is water plus coffee bean extracts. Orange juice is water plus bits of orange. Beer is water plus beery stuff. What all of these have as the foundation of them is water. And so what all of these other ACT processes have as the foundation is self as context. I, here, now, noticing everything else.